And of course the elephant in the room here is the pyramid, because this is not the first or the last time that we have a pyramid in an area, right? The game is very insistent on that image, right? We begin with what essentially would be a pyramid in the sky-high area, in the sense that it's a pyramid in the sense that it seems to be an ancient religious building of pyramidal shape. It ascends up into an apex, and it's not the last time that it appears either, since we get a temple in Banana Island. In that case, shaped as like an American-style temple, right? So again, it's clearly sort of showing that despite the content of the stages changing so much, there is a structure to them that is remaining the same. There is like the bones of the levels are being preserved and mutating slowly, while the flesh of the levels is mutating very fast. Because, for example, what's happening here? We're in an area full of ice. So something has happened in the last few areas, in that climate, or the elements, the natural elements, especially water, are becoming the central theme of the level. Central, almost sort of exclusively central, because this is literally just an Iceland. There is nothing else. The previous area was just a desert. The previous level was just an ocean, with the inclusion of the machinery. So it's almost as if after Monkey Mall, something happens whereby the natural elements become much more oppressive on the structure of the levels. It's funny because Carl Jung kind of mentions this in the Red Book. He's saying that, you know, that the individuation dreams seem to first maybe offer a rich variety of content. Like he has all sorts of different little adventures that are varied in tone and in imagery. But then at some point, things become very barren and desert-like and very dualistic in how they switch, so that he'll have like one fantasy where he's burning in fire and another fantasy where he's drowning in water. So they become very radical in how they switch from one state to the next. You're either in hot weather or you're in cold weather, and so on. A simplification is happening for alchemical purposes, perhaps, right? That the elements in the environment are needing to be simplified in order to be processed or something. So I feel that something is happening here with the ice level or the water level and all that. And this already kind of sets the stage for the rest of the levels here on out. What's going to happen here then is that from the ice we're going to go here, which is rain. So water is still present. Rain is falling. But if I remember correctly, the Japanese name for this area is a temple or something, ancient temple. And as you see, you are literally surrounded by a circular temple. This is the first time then that we find ourselves inside the temple, in the very middle of it even. All other areas have shown us sort of outside it, right? we could see the temple in the distance as a prop in the background, but we weren't ever in it. This is like a final encounter with it. You're in the temple, and it's a circle, so it's pyramidal in that sense, in that it's mandalic in shape. You're in the temple. So that's the one thing, right? Something has happened in terms of level design, where you finally reach the center. The funny thing is that this, you know, we could think that that would make this area the climax of the game, because, you know, you finally reach the center of the temple. And, you know, it is in some weird way, because this is the last area. It's the last area in conventional terms, because after this you simply get an extra stage and then a master stage, which is Banana Island. So Banana Island is the final area in terms of the plot offered by the manual. But usually when we hear things like extra stage, it seems to suggest an extra, additional stage that isn't part of the main core area. So there is at least one way of reading this where you've reached the end, basically, in this one. This is the final stage, and it shows itself that way because you literally are in the center of the temple, which is the image that all of the stages have been teasing you with. You're finally there. And then the extra stage and the master stage are perhaps complementary interpretations of that fact. Something has happened. You have reached the center of the temple. Now, what has happened? Well, the extra stage and the master stage will try to elucidate that, maybe. Or take you higher, take you beyond that. Take you to an even more purified form of the mandala, or something, I don't know. However, there are things I would like to say about this stage. First of all, it's surrounded by towers. Several of them. So, okay. I mean, that's a thing. But let's look what else it's surrounded by. Well, it seems to be surrounded by these strange little characters who, as far as I can tell, don't belong to any other game. They're like original characters created just for this, just as gargoyles for this area. The thing is that you can somehow tell that this person here has like a drill hand. It almost seems as if, you know, one of his hands is a drill. There are these sort of figures like dancing. Not quite sure what that is. There's fire under the rain, by the way. I think that's also of significance. A fire that never goes out, despite it raining on it. And it's difficult to catch, but there is a person with a sword here. In fact, okay, I know what we're going to do. We're just going to go to the start of this area. And we're going to slow it down. This guy with the big drill. It's kind of annoying to look at. This guy is holding something, like a boulder. This guy is completely round, like a sphere, like the sphere you're in. This guy is holding a sphere. I tried looking these Greek letters up, but they don't seem to mean anything. Yeah, if anyone is interested. I would love to see a possible interpretation of that. In any case, we have finally arrived. It's funny, isn't it? Also, the towers are flanked. Also, isn't this basically the same symbol as the star and the moon? Right? It's this spiked sphere. And this thing, this long bit here, almost suggesting a union between the... You can't really see the moon element in that, I know, but isn't it somehow resonant of the stars? I'm not sure. I don't know. In any case, so there's this guy here holding a sword. So it's a strange cast of characters. And in any case... Jesus Christ. Sword guy. We have sword guy and we have drill guy. So we have at least two people holding pointy objects. And then surrounded by pointy towers. At least these two characters with the pointy, pointy drill, pointy sword. I can't help reading that as a phallic symbol, right? They've got pointy objects that they're wielding with their hand. In a game where we are collecting bananas and, and somehow dealing with some sort of issue surrounding gorillas and stuff like that. So somehow the theme, the aesthetic theme of this stage is spikiness, right? Spiky thing, spiky sword, spiky sun images on the spiky pillars and the spiky goal. Why so much spikiness? In a level where there are fires that are not, they're not blown out by the wind or the rain. It seems to be trying to imply that this is a spiritual fire of some kind, especially since this is a temple. This is maybe a sacred, holy place, therefore this is like some sort of holy fire that isn't put out by rain. A rain that is coming from a place of water. We've been exploring the theme of water so far. But something strange happens in the next few levels that puts this rain into context, I think.